Core. Okay, so you were saying about June. It's on record now. Say that again.
All right, so in the law of June, there's the humans, they become so advanced, they create this robotic race that basically does everything for the humans. You know, it serves them food, serves them water, it calculates everything for them. And it comes to the point where humans become just way too complacent and just lazy that they start to fight back and destroy the robots they created. And it kind of leads into that theory of AI, how it's just going to take everything over for us. And I think it's happening already now. A lot of people getting tired of the phone doing everything for them. You know, they're starting to become aware that the phone controls them. The phone.
No, but you're absolutely right. You were just talking about social dilemma. There are algorithms out there that calculate how to best get our attention. If they get our attention, they can sell advertisements to us. And the more you see a brand or the more you see a product, the more likely you are to buy it. No, that makes absolute sense. Like Instagram and Facebook are free for a reason because we are the product.
Yeah, and you know, it's almost we basically need to use it to be successful in our businesses, right? It's something that's a necessity at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? I get frustrated sometimes. I get frustrated with how the individual nowadays has all these injuries and chronic illnesses and relies on so many external factors like doctors and medicine and stuff. And my first question is, okay, so what can we do about that? That's actually why I love how you started the conversation off with the robots. I started thinking, okay, so you want to take back power, and I started thinking, what are things you can do in your daily life to sort of negate all the stuff that you're not doing? Like, my dad doesn't train, but he has a piece of land in the Netherlands where he chops wood, where he does walking. It's just so he doesn't need meditation, he doesn't need exercise. But seeing as we're sitting down all the time and we're comfortable all the time,
So is your dad fit?
Fit enough. Like if you were to see him, you wouldn't think, "Oh my God, he's buff, he's strong," but he's doing quite well for his age.
Yeah, that incidental training, right? Yeah. I've started watching this YouTube channel, The Bioneer. Have you heard of him?
Also, something that sort of I've heard it, but I don't know much about it.
Oh, he's just a really good guy. He just really he has a lot of information to share. You know, a lot of YouTube channels like Athlete X, for example. You see one of his videos, it's so clickbaity. You know.
Yeah, I don't like Athlete X. He's too pragmatic, too dogmatic.
Yeah, he'll use all these clickbait titles to get views, and then he uses language in his videos that are too complex for the average user, the average viewer, and he still gets millions of views. And most of the people viewing that probably have, it raises a few more questions, which is a good thing. But it feels like he's just reading off a script from a functional anatomy book, right?
You know what I feel like with Athlete X, alongside all these fitness influencers, it's all very convergent because what you always see is stop doing this, do that, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
And people are interested in that stuff because they think, oh, I'm doing this wrong. If I do this right, everything will be better always. Well, no. I mean, if that were the case, our lives would be a lot easier. That's just not.
It just shows how insecure we are as a race. You know, we always want to think we're doing something wrong. You know, we can't be complacent with what we're doing right.
We don't want to spend time on thinking what the actual problem is. I mean, if you're not sleeping well and you're taking melatonin, maybe you need to stop drinking coffee all the time. And if you want to have it once a week or in the morning, or maybe you need to get outside. There's all these things. It's never just a yes, no answer. But the problem is you can't sell that stuff. You can't.
Yeah. Well, it's what it is. Yeah. So this channel, The Bioneer, I think you may have seen. I think you're following him on Instagram, but he's just his channel. He's almost like he's created like a library, right? And, you know, with Athlete X, it's not a library. It's just clickbait videos. I can't search for something, and sure, some of his information is really good, but I can't search for it if I've got a question. But this guy, The Bioneer, has really good
Yeah,
So yeah,
I've just looked him up on YouTube. I do have him on Instagram. It's just he
yeah,
doesn't pop
yeah.
up that often because I apparently not like his stuff or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That
know,
sounds about right.
this chat is actually right on time because I've been thinking like, what am I gonna add to this world? How am I gonna make this world a little bit better? And what does better even mean? And my answer to that was sort of twofold. Well, one of them is the kids, like getting kids to move. I mean, I think the most damaging thing you can do to a kid is stuff it full with sugars and give it a screen.
Mm,
That's honestly, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do because it diminishes all creativity that will be their normal, and they are prone to anxiety, depression, and obesity and stuff.
yeah,
So my answer to that was just get them to move, get them to do stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be
yeah.
heavy.
I love. I see some of your videos and just seeing them do like monkey bars and stuff like that. You know, they love that shit. I, for
It's so
example, like even
natural.
yeah, that's something I'm really liking about rock climbing at the moment. You know, there's something so instinctive inside of us to just climb shit. You know, something like something inside our biology that's thousands of years old
Yeah.
that wants us to climb. And I think that's why people are really attracted to it.
And also, I would say the fear factor as well. The fact that you can actually fall and
Yeah,
you're getting somewhere. Like, this is something I've noticed with training kids is if I tell them to do a deadlift or a jump or a push-up, they don't really get it because they're like, okay, so I've done one push-up, what now? And to what end? And when is it good? When is it bad? But if I tell them you're jumping on top of something, you're lifting something on something, that's clear. And when you're climbing or the climb wall, you go from point A to point Z, so you know when you've done it. It's more
yeah,
divergent where there's no straight path. It's just you figure out at that point what can I do to get there.
yeah, yeah. And it's crazy. Like even fighting has the same thing. You know, there's
Yeah.
something instinctive in us to fight. You know, to fuck, to fight, to climb, to eat. You know, I think it's really good just to get back to those instincts. You know, how
Well,
often are we doing two things at the same time and not focusing on just one of them?
my question was, so if you want to be effective in life, right? If you want to have a lot of energy, if you want to be social, if you want to feel good and be strong, be capable of whatever comes your way, being able to deal with that, what's the most efficient way of getting there? And look, I've noticed that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a massive player
Mm,
because you have the physical contact, you have the flow state where you're trying to get out of places or getting into places and being able to stay calm when someone is choking you or right on top of you. I mean, that is one of them, and they've come up with a lot of research that it has a great effect on your bone density as well, and in turn on your ability to fight and stuff. So research is just catching up on something we've always known. It's goddamn
mm.
important to be able to fight. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, like we've been wrestling for thousands of years, and no one, fads come and go, but things like wrestling haven't left.
No,
All right, this is just been it's going to go on for years. You know, it's not. I don't really see it ending. It's really cool. It's just something that's always improving. You know, you see like the sport of martial arts just evolving constantly. You know, as we get to know it, martial arts really is just uh, the scientific method, but in physical form.
yeah, because you know what? If you do karate, if you do kickboxing, if you do jujitsu, if you do aikido, well, it's all different, but it's all the same.
Yeah, yeah. How's your jiu-jitsu going?
Oh my god, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing because we're in a good group and we respect one another. But it's also been amazing because I can tell that my training is working. Like there's I always talk about carryover. I always talk about, okay, I don't train to live. I don't live to train. I train to live, and I want my training to actually have a real effect on everything that I do. And truthfully, my technique in jiu-jitsu is pretty shit. I have considerable experience in fighting because of kickboxing and judo, but technique
Yeah.
wise, it's just utter crap.
Yeah.
But I could tell I had the hardware. I could tell I was able to stay calm because of the breath holds and the breath work. I could tell my core was there. I could tell that my structure was there. So massive,
Did
massive.
doing judo as a kid help your BJJ?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. I just got my blue belt the other day after 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, how did you get it? Did you have to wrestle
Um,
someone?
no, we just our teacher has a like a list of things to show him. Like he already kind of knows where all his students are at, but he'll do like a one-on-one with us and ask us to do certain techniques, and we'll tick us off on that. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. Like for a while, I had this like almost nihilistic view on the belts. Okay, they're just different colors. They don't really change your skill at all, and that is true to an extent. The day before I was a blue belt, I was a white belt, but it's still like once I got it, it felt actually like an acknowledgement and a step forward, and I just kind of took that and accepted it. Really,
It is
it
an
was
achievement. It is.
yeah. I was just trying to not get egoic about it at the start, but I think it's good I think to get more successful at jiu-jitsu, it's good to understand where you're at with those belt colors, and
Well,
even comparing yourself to other students is not necessarily a bad thing. You
no.
know, you know, now that I'm a blue belt, I don't really want a white belt to beat me. I want to be more, yeah, yeah. And like as if you're a white belt, you're going to go harder on the blue belts. So it's going to implement on my training a bit. It's going to make it more tougher, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but look, ego has been defiled as a word. An
Yeah.
ego can be too small and an ego can be too big. To me, the ego is quite literally the sense of self. It is what do I do in my daily life based on what I think of myself. And that might be, am I prone to exercising? Am I prone to eating? Am I prone to teaching? Am I prone to being kind? And that's part of the reason why a lot of people experience met anxiety, because they don't see themselves as a fighter yet. They see themselves as a
Mm,
white belt. You have upgraded your understanding of yourself by being able to say, I am a blue belt, which means I have yada, 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 yada. So your structure has sort of been built. And at some point, you're going to be a purple belt, which is going to build you up even more.
mm,
So I think ego in this case is good. And you know what? You and I both know that BJJ is the big equalizer. You'll be submitted by white belt at some point, even if you're purple.
yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
your day if someone is just incredibly strong or you're unlucky. That will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot where I had something in my head. I thought, oh, it's left me now. It's left me for
Nah,
now.
if it comes, it comes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I so it is quite obvious to me, and I think also to you, that we're gonna go through some troublesome times. I mean, I'm not going to say World War III, but there's going to be civil unrest. There's going to be more lockdowns, and it's just something inside of me tells me I need to be ready. I need to be
Mm.
capable and for whatever comes my way, so I can keep
It's
things.
gonna get like Mad Max out there.
Hopefully not, but if that were to happen, I'd like to be ready.
Yeah, yeah. What I forgot just kind of came back to me. One thing that really annoys me is that when someone starts something new, they do it for the first time, and then they say that, "Oh, I'm not good at this." No
Yeah,
shit. Like that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, no shit, you're not supposed to be good at this. And then these people get discouraged and not do it again because they're not good at it. Like, no, with that mindset, you're not going to do anything, right? Is it?
yeah, but look, I think that depends on why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're this morning, I was training with a client of mine, and I had a lengthy chat with him about why he wanted to train in the first place, and he was pretty clear, pretty straightforward. And he said, "Well, I'm an older man. He's 50. He's got a baby girl coming up." And he said, "Well, look, I'm 50. I'm overweight. And if I don't start training and if I don't start working on myself, I won't be there when she's 30, when she's 40." I'm like, "That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And you don't want your little girl to grow without a father." So he can't really win or lose after training because he showed up, he did the work. And if he were to come to training and his win would be 11 reps on a certain weight, yes, he can lose and he can win.
Mm.
So people giving up too quickly on any sport, I think you just have to be honest with yourself. What's the reason why you're doing
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't count my reps ever. I don't care about the weight I'm lifting. I love the fact that I can move. I love the fact that it makes me feel better, that I can express myself.
Yeah.
Every training session I do is a win for me. Every single
Mm.
one of them.
I come to the mindset lately is of just learning new movements. I'm
Yeah.
just enjoying learning new movements. There's some sort of freedom attached to that. Is it just learning a different kick or to handstand or do a flip, for example? It's just there just seems like it almost seems infinite in how we can move. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and what you can do with that stuff. I mean, for one, moving is cool. What can you do with it? Like you said before, you can climb, so you can climb on things.
Yeah, yeah. Me and my friends, we're climbing on random shit, even outside the climbing gym now. It's really fun. But yeah. Like, do you want to like you can even eat? Do you want to move? Just I see some like theatrical martial arts where they do like flips and kicks, and like sure, it's not really functional, but a part of me really wants to learn that stuff. It looks so sick, like acrobatic kicks. It's so cool. I don't know why I want to learn it. It just
But it's art. You know,
fun. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's
not too long ago, I at my Bear Cups class, and I had about 20 kids, and I could tell they were a little bit tired. They were disengaging, so I wanted to remind them of why we were going to do movement, why we were going to do animal flow and stuff. And I said, art. When you think of art, you think of paintings, and you think of scribbles, and you think of drawing. And I said to them, well, I disagree. I think art is expression. I think art, it can be dancing too. And I think art can be singing, and art can be moving. Like our coach, Chris, from the dojo, when I see him move, when I see him perform BJJ, to me, that's art because I can see skill there. I can see thought. I can see intent. So,
yeah. Behind you can see like behind how many hours of practice it took
yep.
to get to that level.
And it's cool. And you know what? Um, this is something I'm really looking into. Is I want to recognize a master, and it's kind of hard to explain when you can tell someone is a master, but it's just you can tell. Like not too long ago, I was I had to get my hair cut, and I got to a new barber, and I asked him, "Oh, I just want to have this and this and this." He's like, "No, no, no." And he came up with a different proposal, but in the way he spoke and in the way he cut my hair, I could tell there was real technique. There was real skill. I could just feel that. And
Yeah.
the same goes for someone doing karate or judo or anything for that matter. I want to
Mm.
feel that mastery. I want to feel that skill.
Yeah. Are you doing karate regularly?
No, no, I'm actually. Speaking of which, it's actually good that you bring that up. I'm gonna write it in my notes right now. I'm supposed to do judo with a friend on Thursday.
Has Kylie ranked you up in karate?
No, 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 no. She
No.
wouldn't. But she's third dan, nearly fourth dan in karate. She's a
Oh,
tough lady.
yeah.
And you know what? As you say, it shouldn't all be about the belt. And
No.
if it comes, it comes.
Yeah.
I just like the physical aspect of it and the respect aspect of it.
Mm, how different is it to something like BJJ? Because I've seen some karate stuff where they focus on like takedowns and all, but the rest of it just seems more. I don't know how practical it is compared to something like kickboxing or BJJ.
Well, here's where I get a bit conflicted because I think BJJ has some real strong components. Being able to take someone down, being able to choke someone and make someone just faint. But the kicking and punching, when you're a top guard, someone is on top of you. In BJJ, they're not going to punch you. In real life, they are. So
Yeah,
to me, that's a
yeah,
component that's lacking. But in karate, for example, if someone just grabs your legs and pulls you down, what are you going to do? Nothing. So I think that if you want to be good at being able to defend yourself, you need something like judo, like BJJ, wrestling. And you need something like striking, some Muay Thai or kickboxing
mm,
or
yeah,
karate. So you kind of need both, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm just getting obsessed with learning new movements. I've done BJJ for the past few years now, and now I just think it's time to like still do BJJ, but kind of also bring in some striking.
Mm,
In my
yeah.
way, I think it's important. It's I feel confident using jiu-jitsu in a legitimate fight, but not too much striking. And when you get in a fight, the striking will happen first. If you're both standing up, if we're both 2 meters away from each other, the striking will probably it's almost inevitable that that will happen
Yeah,
before I can take
if
him down.
you're on the ground and if you're holding someone and just punching your head, look,
Yeah,
there's all these components in training that just have this different effect on you. And being choked and having someone place an elbow or a knee in your stomach is one. But I can tell you, having someone kick your leg or punch you in the face, that's that's a different beast, man. That's something you have to train for. It's just
yeah,
they oh fuck, how did Mike Tyson say it? Everybody has a plan until they get punched. Was it Mike Tyson?
yeah, yeah. There's another saying I like. I read it in some NLP book, and they said, "Everyone is wise until they speak."
Yes, well, that's pretty much in line with that.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many times I have this beautiful, articulate line ready in my head to use in a conversation, and then when it comes out, sometimes it just obliterates and explodes and crashes and burns.
Both have to be done right, otherwise you don't convey anything.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
No, but you know, the one thing I've noticed with my kickboxing, judo, and BJJ experience is just the fact that you're calm. I'm now like last Thursday, we had an hour and a half session, and one of the guys, he's strong. His skill is not insane, but he's strong, rigid, and he was right on top of me, and he was trying to yank my arm. I was in a very uncomfortable position, and at the moment, I thought, you know what? He's got nothing. There's nothing he can do right now that can hurt me. I might feel uncomfortable, but just started going, breathing deeply through my nose, and I could tell he was getting tired. And as soon as I could tell he was wearing down, I was right on top of him, and I won.
Mm.
And that I think where the trick is. That's where I think the trick is can you stay calm? Can you stay in a moment, even if you're getting kicked, even if you're getting punched, if you're getting choked, if you're getting someone right on top of you?
Yeah,
Because as
yeah,
soon as that motor control and that planning goes out of the window, you're done for, no matter how much skill you've got.
yeah, you have to be indifferent. Even if you're winning, you have to be indifferent. I recently just competed in the state titles, and in one of my matches, there was about 5 seconds left. We both had the same amount of points, but he had a few advantages. So when the round was over, he would have won. But as the last few seconds happened, I found a sweep. He was just getting cocky. He thought he'd won. There was a few seconds left. I stepped in and got the points in the last few seconds of the game. And if he just stabilized himself and didn't think he was going to win, he probably wouldn't have let me swept him. He got way too cocky and ended up winning that match. It was awesome. It was awesome for me.
That's a good skill. That to me is a virtue.
Yeah, in the 10 seconds before that, I did have this line of thought that said, "Oh fuck, I'm going to lose," until but he just made the mistake, and which let me win.
That's cool. I think that's also due to your meditation. It would make sense to me.
Yeah. You can't let your thoughts control you. I had this exact same problem that he had, but mine was more negative, and I had it before him, and I just threw it away.
Yeah, there you go. It comes in and you just let it out. Hey, but awesome.
Yeah.
So you won state champions.
No, I got the silver medal in the state champions, unfortunately. But
still huge.
Pardon?
That's still huge.
Yeah, it's nice, but I this will win because I only had 4 weeks to train because of my appendicitis. I got my appendix removed.
Yeah. You told me.
Cover for 2 months really, so it wasn't not an ideal situation to be in. But how many people would actually go fight after they get an appendectomy?
Yeah, not a lot. Because
that's a win for me in itself.
No, but you're absolutely right. A lot of people would say, "Oh, I wouldn't be able to win, so I might as well not try." And I can imagine you're you're just gonna give it a try, learn something from it.
Yeah, that one guy in my team, he didn't compete at all just because he knew some tougher guys were in the exact same division as him.
Oh, come on!
Exactly. That's the thought I had.
I had a guy coming in also last Thursday, and he's bigger and stronger than me. And the first thought I had was, yes, awesome. There's someone that can submit me. Because I have a big ego. I do. I think I'm tough shit, and I'm cool and I'm masculine, but I need that. I need someone that can submit me. That no matter what I do, I'll lose. I need that stuff.
Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z as a kid?
No. Some friends of mine did actually, but no, I never did.
Yeah, there's it's always consistent with that hero's journey where there's the characters get really strong until there's one more villain that's much stronger than them, and they have to train really hard to beat this one villain, and just repeats that cycle. But it's a cool cycle to have. It's a bit of motivation watching that kids show.
Yeah, but you need something to resist to.
Martial arts. Huh?
You need something to resist against. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I do want to share something with you. Judo has taught me about psychological warfare. And I still use it to this day. So whenever I did, I think I've done championships for about 6 years as a kid. And in judo, you go into this pool. So you have a pool of 5, 6, and matches last for about 5 to 6 minutes. And unless you score an ippon when they're on their back, you win. And you would just go from person A to B to C to A, and one would win and one would lose. And the first thing I always did, I would look at the pool. I would look at what kind of guys am I up against, and how are they looking at me, and is anyone scared? And usually, what I would do, I would destroy the first guy. I would just stay calm, let him do his stuff, let him get into a good position, And when it's time to strike, I would completely obliterate him and throw him on his back, and I would just calmly walk back and look every single guy in the face. And what it has often done is some guys were just scared to begin with, and they would charge at me. And I don't know if you know about judo, but the thing with judo is you use someone else's power. So if someone runs at you, you grab them behind their back and throw them over you, and they're done.
Yeah.
And I do the same with jujitsu. Like, you assess the person you're up against, and you try to find their weaknesses, and you look them in the face. And the first thing I always do is I go deep inhale, exhale, and I start looking at you. And it's such a powerful tool. It is such a, you've already won or lost a fight in that very first second.
Do you wait for them to look away?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And if they look away, then I calm it down. And if they keep looking at me, then I get in close contact and I start pushing them back. And not like pushing back physically, but I make sure that they move back.
Do they move back before the rounds even started? Or
No, but with judo, for example, it was always one will be advancing and the other one will be going back. Like if I were to reach for your gi, you're trying to move your gi away, so I can't grab it. You move back. You try to grab my gi, I let you grab my gi, but I'm unmovable. So, and I can tell it has effects on my daily life too, because you sort of keep that mindset. You can play with people's psyche. How's your experience been with that?
I'm still working on that eye contact thing before a competition, because the competitions just get so nerve-wracking, man. You know, I'm not afraid to look them in the eye, but sometimes I'm just focusing. I end up looking at where I'm going to go. You know, I'm becoming conscious of what body part I'm going to aim for. But maybe, I think that's a good idea, to just stare them down.
Well,
before the competition.
I use two things. So I use my training to make my fighting better as well. And there's two practices that really help. The first one is simple. You know the substrate lactate, right?
Not really, no. Lactate.
It's a bit of a long story. I'll try to keep it short. But generally, when you're going anaerobic, so without oxygen, so during stressful times, like let's say you're going for a 1 minute sprint, you're producing lactate. And lactate then gets used by the brain, gets used by the muscles. And when there's too much of it, it often causes anxiety. And if you breathe quicker, if you get in more oxygen, then that lactate gets shuttled quicker. And often when you're fighting someone, you're getting scared, you produce so much lactate, you get into that anxiety state.
Yeah.
If you're able to shuttle that lactate quicker by having a higher degree of oxygen, you stay a lot calmer. So I do a lot of breath holds, I do a lot of breath training, so that even though I'm in a stressful environment, my body is so good at shuttling lactate, getting in that oxygen, I stay calm. And when there's a stressful moment, or I get hit, or I get choked, through my breathing, I can just deflate myself completely and stay in a moment. And second,
you know your limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not the most powerful. I'm not the strongest. I don't have the most technique. There's one thing I do have, and that's control and attention.
Yeah.
And that is highly underestimated. But
you see someone who's fresh, you know, they get in like a position where they're getting submitted, but they don't try and actually hold it there. You know, sure, you don't want to get your arm broken or get choked out, but it's still good to push past that limit, you know, to find out where it is, you know, because at that time you could find an escape. You know, if you didn't tap out, you could have escaped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you have to find your limits, and like, you don't want your arm to be broken, as you said, but you have to see how far can I go, because that becomes your safety next.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
And
sure, you don't want to break yourself, then, and that's fair enough.
I think people.
But if I'm talking like ligament wise,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
ligament wise,
choking wise, not so much.
you just have to be
I'll only
careful.
choke. Yeah, I'll only tap out when I'm getting blurry, when I'm about to faint.
That's cool.
Yeah,
But look,
yeah. I haven't passed out yet. I haven't passed out yet.
there's a second component here, also overlooked often, and that is the hardware. So the breathing is often a mental component where you have conscious control over it. You can lower your stress levels, but if you have the hardware, you're just as scary. Like, because of all the carries I've done, the cyclical work, and the lifts with the sandbags, you have those prime movers, your pecs, your upper back, your glutes, your quads, your external obliques. And when someone tries to move you, you don't move. And I distinctly remember a friend of mine, Renee. He was sparring with Matthew Tesla, and he's supposedly like a top-notch guy in BJJ, like really high level. And what he said to me, I will never forget. He said, as soon as I grabbed his gi, it was like he had a hold of me.
A wall, a what? A wall knee.
He said, as soon as I grabbed the hold of his gi, so his suit,
Yeah,
it felt like he had a hold of me.
a whole. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's
Oh,
so sturdy, so strong, so stable.
okay. Yeah. Like, one thing I've been thinking about is how fluid jiu-jitsu is. It's almost like you are the water and your opponent is the cup, and you're just reacting to the
I like
shape of
that.
your opponent. Yeah, and it's just it's a cup that's infinitely moving, and you're just reacting to them. I guess I think there's times where you can try and make the cup move itself, or maybe like make it a part of you. Make it more fluid. Because
Well,
some really good guys make their opponent react to certain things. They put them into positions where they want them to put them into.
I admit that being in that flow state and reacting to your opponent is a big part of jiu-jitsu, but I see it like the elements. Like with air, it will be letting go. If you're in a shitty position, you're not happy about that, you feel like you've done something wrong, let it go. The fire will be, and what I said to you before with the judo is you let them take you, and as soon as you feel like you're ready, you explode, you burst, you drive fear into their hearts. And earth is just driving fear into their hearts by being immovable, by making them feel like there's no matter what they do, they cannot move you. You decide where the game goes, not the other way around. And as you said, water would be the one where you start playing, where you start reading the guy and seeing what he's about.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. That's beautiful.
And you can train these elements, you can. All four of these elements, both physically and mentally, can be trained. They can be altered.
Do you have like is there a certain element that suits your style?
Yeah, fire and earth.
Yeah.
Fire and earth. Jordan Peterson talks about agreeableness, about how the outliers in agreeableness are often manly, and how a lot of women are very agreeable and a lot of men are not agreeable at all. I'm not a very agreeable person.
Yeah.
You will know if I like you and if I don't like you. And if I think you're fucking up, I will tell you.
Yeah.
And I like that rigidity, that no matter how much shit is going on around me, I stay calm and relaxed and strong and stable. and if I need to, I burst, I explode, and I can do the other two as well: the flowing, the feeling, the empathy and stuff, and the letting go and disconnecting from all the shit that's going on in your life. But the first two elements, oh, I like that, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're definitely not. You're quite the counterculture kind of person. I think we both are, and that's why we relate a lot.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
look,
we
I
see
said it to
like,
you before. The reason why I feel a strong connection with you is because you have that calmness within you. I can, whenever I talk to you, I feel like you're really listening, and I feel like I can tell you a lot because we've gone through similar experiences.
mm, yeah, yeah. You know, I think we both see people on fire. You know, a lot of people they
That's yeah, that's pretty accurate.
you know that people complain and complain about the shit going on, but there's cause and effect going on. You know, and it doesn't seem like there's a limit. There's not a limit to how much happiness we can have in our lives. You
Yeah,
know, we can ultimately decide that.
I think it's all within you. I think you don't need any person or any medicine or any practice. Well, you maybe a practice, but I don't think you really need all that much to be happy.
Mm, yeah, no, I think we need the practice because we need something to get ourselves out of it. We're almost jailed by this conditioning we have,
Yeah,
and the practice is just letting go of that conditioning.
oh,
You know,
can I
trying
can
to
I can I share with you something?
yeah.
I fuck, I'm gonna have to explain as well because it's a cool experience. Yeah, I was doing my breath work. And afterwards meditation, and I was amped up. I was just on fire, and my mind was all over the place. So the breath holds were very difficult. And normally I would suffer my way through the breath holds. Like, oh, this is hard, but I can do it. And if I don't do it, I'm a loser. And blah, blah, blah. I started talking, doing that negative self-talk. And as it got harder, I thought, you know what? Just feel.
Hmm.
And I kid you not, I could feel like a sort of a stimulus running down my spine, or my spine just relaxed. And afterwards, my whole body just went, and then my diaphragm still started vibrating because the carbon dioxide started building up. But I really detached myself from the feeling. Like the physiological reaction was still there. My body was still going through all these pH shifts and lowering oxygen, but the psychological effect wasn't there. And I
Yeah,
felt the
you just
same during.
dismissed it.
What did you say?
You just dismissed it.
Yeah, yeah, precisely. It's just a feeling. It's self-inflicted, and I said to myself, I want to be here. I choose to undergo this experience because I like to learn, and I like to. I don't always want to be comfortable. I like being uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. I think the you know when I've gotten the most out of breath work is through the same thing. Is when I stop thinking. You know, that's my only problem when with breath work is the thinking.
Hmm.
Actually, you know, there's times I'm too tired to do the breath work. It takes too much energy. The more I think about it, the slower and harder doing something like Wim Hof does.
Yeah, because
You know,
tell me about your breath practices. Have you changed anything up, or?
I'm not doing too much at the moment. But yesterday, last week, I worked like 50 hours, and I was just really run down, and like you know, it was just stupid, just a Christmas shifts, right?
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
was feeling run down. I could feel like a cold coming on, sniffles, and I just practiced Wim Hof method, just 3 rounds, really simple, and I feel fine now. I'm not sick or anything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, cause and
So
effect. That's cool.
yeah, I just pulled it out of my pocket. You know, it's the tool I can use now whenever. It's
That's
yeah, I'm
no,
grateful for it.
that's massive. See that See what you just did there? You didn't need
What did I
anyone. You
do?
didn't need anything. You just yourself do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You know, I don't even really get sick anymore. I last time I got truly sick was probably like when I'd go on benders. You know, it's
Binges.
that's when I like benders, like just drinking a lot over a couple of
Yeah, but see that
months.
there you have cause and effect. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I was sick, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, but if you think about sickness, what does sickness even mean? I mean, I
Mm,
get that you might have a bacterial infection or you get a virus and whatever, but you know what? I think in general, sickness is just the body being over, having too much sympathetic activity. Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
too
I was
active.
I was for, I was almost forced into a parasympathetic state. You know, when you're sick, you lay down, you actually get that chance to rest. And it was almost my body was forcing me to rest.
Yeah, and I think if you on a daily, a weekly, if not daily basis, really consider, okay, where am I at? How am I feeling? Am I upregulated? Am I downregulated? Can't I get out of bed or am I anxious all the time? What can I do? Like to me,
Yeah,
the Thursday and Friday carnivore, no stimulants, most of the time fasting, having one meal, that's really 2 days where I completely crash, where I'm not as productive, I don't do as much, but I give my body the time to recover.
yeah, yeah. I saw some of the stuff you posted. It sounded really interesting. How you have certain diets of the day for how you're going to go your day out.
Oh, well, look, if you want to get into this, we can. There's a whole lot of stuff we can talk about
Yeah,
if you want.
is this something new you've been doing? Like, is this? It
Oh,
just seems like a bunch of accumulated knowledge you've brought into your life.
this goes pretty deep. Um, okay. Are you sure you want to get into this?
Yeah, 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 let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Um, it starts with the local and non-local mind. This goes right back to the very foundation. So I've started reading this book and I started talking about the more meditation you do, the more you connect with the non-local mind. And I've started realizing that universe reality is just a sort of a being, a system, an organism in a way. And everything within that organism, which some might call God, I just call it a system or an algorithm, works via a couple of rules. And the difference between the way people are treating life most of the time and I'm treating it is they treat it convergent, where you always do this and always do that. Every morning you wake up with coffee. Every morning you wake up having your toast. Whereas I create a system. Okay, I want to get creative today. So I'm going to do A, B, and C. Oh, I want to focus today. I'm going to do D, E, and A. I want to go for intensity today. So I create these little systems with certain behaviors to drive me towards a certain action. And I say drive because the same as in the body, an enzyme helps a chemical reaction happen. It doesn't force it to happen. It helps it to happen. And sometimes my mind just isn't there. I want to focus, but my body won't. But I'm teaching my whole self as an organism to get to places. Because when you look at the central nervous system, all it does, it makes these predictions. And I'm feeding these predictions by saying, hey, I've just done all these behaviors, so I would like you to go there. And same as when I go to sleep, I teach my body, okay, it's time to go to sleep now. So for starters, no movies, little social media. I would like you to read. I would like you to socialize. I would like you to eat primarily protein and heavily digestible food. Um, on my plant compound days, I take turkey tail, I take reishi, I take all these compounds that help me get to that state. But if it doesn't happen, like last night I didn't sleep well because I had some green tea, I accept it. I don't fight
Yeah,
it because I don't have everything under control, but I make things as likely as possible to happen. I increase the probability on certain behaviors arising.
that's that's really cool. That's really you worded that so awesomely.
Huh. Thank you. Yeah, it's new. I it's like a self-learning organism. I've sort of my mental capacity is now a self-learning organism where I can really start feeling where I need to go. And like right now, this morning, I started today with some fruits. I had some coffee. I did explosive exercises, and I can tell I'm incredibly sharp right now, incredibly calm. And I already know that I'm gonna have slight anxiety tonight during jujitsu because I have expended a lot of energy already, and I'm gonna be tired.
Mm.
And I need to go on. I've already accepted that that's gonna be a part of me. And tonight I won't be sleeping as perfect because I'm a slow metabolizer of caffeine, which means I won't be getting into deep sleep, and I accept that because I'm getting something out of it. So the next day, I don't take any stimulants at all.
Would you consider like cacao as a stimulant? Because I know there's a little bit of caffeine, but it's very low amount.
Um, the big three stimulants, available stimulants, are far more. To me, are caffeine, L-theanine, and theobromine. And
Okay.
I would say caffeine is more towards the central executive, where you just get stuff done. You're not that creative, you just do stuff. L-theanine is very much towards the focus and creativity, where you just go all over the place and you get all these new ideas. And theobromine is more towards the social, empathetic side, the sexual side. Um, you get higher blood flow and stuff. So theobromine in
That
cacao.
serotonergic system.
Yep, yep, yeah, exactly. So I love myself dark chocolate. I love it. I have it at least once a week to a maximum of twice a week. But you have to realize it's gonna have certain effects on you. You're gonna feel a certain way. And the next day you might feel a little bit depressed and down because you have depleted. Well, you could go down into the chemical reactions, but I say just you've already expended your happiness.
Really, even with something like just cacao.
Yeah, but look, you should be sensitive.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot watch movies anymore. I cannot watch movies anymore because my mind already goes so incredibly fast. I sat in the car today for an hour, and during that hour I was going through all these theories and all these things I want to do. So I'm sensitive to stimulants. Coffee gets me, and if
yeah,
if you don't feel anything from cacao, one cup of coffee or one cup of tea, you're downplaying yourself. You could do better.
okay, okay. I'm going to keep that in consideration. Uh, I've I've been getting the habit of coffee again, and it's not what I remember there was this time when I was just drinking a lot of coffee, and it made me more tired.
Mm-hmm.
And drinking coffee made it was more I was more tired. You know, it didn't really give me the effects that is advertised. You know, there's so much about it we don't really know, and it's just become so common
Well,
to drink.
use it. Use the caffeine. You could, if you want to get off your caffeine addiction, you start constraining. You start sort of
Yeah.
constraining the darkness. You say, I get to have caffeine once a week, but that means will be fasting all day because my metabolism will be downregulated because of the stress. I need to do some exercise. I can't drink coffee and sit on my ass. And I need to do some form of studying. And you're going to have to accept if you do that, that you are gonna
Hmm.
not feel so great in the evening. You're not gonna sleep great that night, and you
Yeah.
might be a little bit tired. You're gonna have to accept that that's a part of your reality, and if you're okay with that, go for it. But use it. Don't use it as a crutch, but use it as a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Today I didn't drink a coffee today. I replaced it with cacao. And I
Mm,
think I don't really want to get the coffee, too much of the coffee withdrawals. And I know there's a big difference between cacao and coffee as well. I think in a serve of cacao, if you have like a tea, it's like 9 milligrams in a serve of caffeine. I may be wrong, and that's only a tenth of your standard coffee shot. So I'm just
yeah.
kind of using that to wean it off.
And look,
But I think weaning off things like that is always a bit of an excuse as well.
well, look, you want a stimulant, and you want a stimulant for a reason, because that's what you're used to. And people always like to single out certain compounds, and I think that's ineffective. I think you want to look at the whole plant. I think that plants sort of talk to us, like the same as they talk about Lady Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca talks to you, and
Mm.
how masculine in San Pedro and peyote is the masculinity, and it's sort of a deity that talks to you. I think that coffee talks to you. I think that green tea talks to you in a way. I mean, the plant just sends you signals chemically.
Yeah, yeah,
If you learn to read
and
them, you can use them for your own good.
yeah. Well, it's like going back to the ayahuasca stuff. When a shaman goes on a plant dieta, they try and gain the plant as an ally, so they can call upon the plant throughout ceremony and use the powers of that plant in the ceremony. And I think that's kind of, I'm not sure if it's something that's metaphysical or something that's kind of stemmed from the unconscious, but it seems really pretty interlinked.
I honestly, I don't know a lot about the metaphysical, so I won't dive too deep into it. But I believe there's something there. There's
Mm.
something there.
We've seen it. We've seen it. So why
Mhm.
shouldn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah. We have.
Yeah.
But fuck, what did I want to say? No, but I remember, for example, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha has a very pronounced effect on anxiety because it works as an adaptogen. Because it turns out that certain compounds in the plant ashwagandha are very much like cortisol. So your body reduces its production in cortisol, and it's taken over by the plant. So to me, that's quite literally just a plant sending out signals to your body, helping you overcome certain things. And the
Is
same.
it is it worth is it worth relying on the plant to do that though?
Um, well, here we get into the systems again. If you always use
Yeah.
ashwagandha, always, then no, because it
Yes.
becomes a crutch.
Yes.
If you teach your body to calm down through various practices like breath holds, breathing, or certain plant compounds, then no, because then you teach your body, hey, this is a signal to calm down. It doesn't always come from the same source. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've just finished a batch of reishi, the mushroom, and I'm now going on turkey tail tonight. And I've given myself that jolt of energy with coffee in the morning, and I'm slowing it down with turkey tail. And Thursday and Friday, I take nothing, just meat, nothing else.
Yeah.
So it's
That's it.
it's a tough conversation. There's no real good answer here, because depending on how well you sleep and how busy your life is, whether you have kids, you might be better off with not taking any coffee at all, or you might be better off with taking it. It's a complicated conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so important to learn about the nervous systems, right? The parasympathetic and the sympathetic.
Hmm.
You know, It just shows not really one being. We are a multitude. We're a facility
Yeah.
of different states of being. And
And
we can see that just in looking at the nervous system.
because it's all the same.
If you ask someone like, oh, if they've done something that's kind of almost like unacceptable, you ask them, why would you do that? And they will just say, oh, it's just who I am.
Yeah. They can't explain it. It just happens.
Really,
Yeah. Yeah, they're natural forces at play. And
yeah, but it's not just who you are. There's so much more to you than that.
you'll like this one too. I had this thought in the car. I was just letting my mind wander a little. Have you ever heard of Campbell's law?
Is this like the hero's journey?
No, it's an actual law. It's a
Okay.
statistical law.
Yeah, sure.
The more a measure is being used, the lesser its effectivity will be.
Can you say that again? There's a bit of delay.
The more a measure is being used, the lesser its effectivity will be. Because you know what? If you are the head of a school and your funding is decided by the outcome of the tests, over time you will find a way to cheat the system. Over time you will find a way to get better outcomes. So
yes.
And if you take that a step further, I started realizing that if you have empirical data, which are the studies, which is pure measurements, if you have the logical data, which is meta-analysis and you being able to understand stuff, and you have the anecdotal data, which is the experience, people often dumb down anecdotal data as just, oh, that's just how you feel. But you know what? I think anecdotal data is much more important than empirical data, because you know what? Every little part in your body sends off little signals saying what's going on. Your brain, your lymphatic system, your vascular system, your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system. All these little systems in the body give off all these signals, like a symphony telling you where you need to go.
Terence McKenna quoted this guy, and he said, "There's no such thing as a coincidence, just a bad hypothesis."
Could not agree more.
And I think that's just like, for example, you I remember you shared this post, and it was a photo of a city, and you said, how crazy is it that this city at nighttime looks similar to neurons being fired?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And like, is that coincidental? And like, it gets bigger and bigger. You start to see certain planets being aligned. Some planets looking like electrons. With moons revolving around them. It just seems almost coincidental. You look at our lungs, for example. You see like a diagram of them. They look like tree branches. They look like trees.
Look at fungi. Look at the way fungi grow, and look at the networks of trees. I truly believe that everything is the same. Everything works according to some fundamental laws. And if you want to make your life a hell of a lot easier, I highly advise you figure out how these laws work. Because as soon as you realize that you have complete control, but also no control at all, you don't worry as much anymore. Like, I will at some point die, and whether that's today or whether that's in 10 years, I don't really care. I'll disintegrate, I'll be a part of the whole being, and I will manifest myself into something else. And whether my mind will be there again, whether there's a soul, I don't care. It doesn't make a difference for me.
Yeah, that's really like the philosophy of the warrior, hey?
Yeah, like the Vikings. Yeah, it's a Viking way of looking at life. Like, death is not the end.
Yeah. If we do die, everything is still going. It's almost kind of just being way too self-important, worrying about death.
Look, you and I are incredibly important, but we're also not important. We're part of a very large organism, and you and I will both serve our task. And I know my task in life. I feel like I know how I can serve other people.
Yeah.
But I'm also
the universe is way too big for us to be important.
We're tiny.
Yeah.
So why even care? Just
But I just think that it's weird. Everything just doesn't seem coincidental. If you look at it in a scientific perspective, it all looks coincidental, but it just doesn't feel coincidental.
Synchronization. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Synchronization. Big word.
Why is it called synchronization?
Things synchronize. When I look at the path I've walked coming here to Australia, things were working too well. I needed a car. I got a car. I wanted to teach kids. Now I'm teaching kids. I'm very attracted to strong women. I'm now the partner of a martial artist, and I started feeling that whenever I ask for something and truly ask for it, it happens. It just manifests.
When you ask for something, do you ever sit down and actually ask about it, or is it something that's just in your mind, like floating around the back of your head?
Well, during my meditation practice, I start off with why. Then I ask, I would like this and this to happen. The same as with the enzyme. I can't ask for it. I can't say this is what I want, because I don't know what I want. I don't know everything. Like I was saying to myself, oh, I need to it will be good if I get more finances, because I'm not making a lot of money at the moment. I'm investing a lot, but it will happen. I will survive through it. And if my cause is just, if my cause is good for others, if I really do it for other people, not myself, then it will happen. The finances will come because I don't do it for the finances.
Yes. Yeah. Damn.
So first you need to really make sure that, do you really want it? Do you really need it? And then you just say, I would like to. I would like for this to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a believer in that law of attraction, but sometimes some things I feel like a lot of things are taking too long. I'm getting impatient, I think.
Yeah, but then
I'm not going to lose track still. I'm still going to focus on what I'm doing.
If you want that to go faster, I would highly recommend you figure out what your personal legend is in life.
Yeah.
What
your personal legend?
Yep. Mm-hmm. What are you going to bring to this world that's going to add something? What makes you special?
What are you going to Yeah. So what are you going to stand yourself up with? Hey?
Look, I 100% believe I'm here for a reason. I 100% believe I serve a purpose, and that purpose is to get people to move again and to, as you say, take charge of themselves again, not take medicine, not take pills, not take food, not go to doctors, just do it themselves. That's why I feel I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have a purpose too, Seth. You're one of a kind. You're a one of a kind person. You're young and you're a fighter. You've traveled the world. You've gone through these ayahuasca experiences. You have opened up your mind, which means that you will do great things. I know it. That's why we're talking, because I talk to people that I feel will change this world too, and I feel you will be one of those people that will add something.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I'm worried just of my own ego getting late. I don't want that to inflate me. I think maybe that's just being me trying to be humble or something. Because I think ultimately having that idea is probably better than being humble.
Yeah, but look, I get what you're saying, and it's
Yeah.
really good that you do. It's really good that you're that concerned with that. But I am here not because of myself. I am here because my parents raised me in safety. I'm here because they have helped me with finances. I'm here because of Kylie. I'm here because of so many factors. So it's not the ego. It's I haven't done this alone at all. I've been helped so many times. And all I want to do in return is just pay my rent for being on this earth, and that's helping others.
Yeah. Yeah. You're doing such a great job of it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really love these conversations. Like, it helps me just come across some ideas and make them into words, you know.
yeah, but it all starts with, you know, not too long ago I was reading a book and they were talking about the effects someone's thought process has on someone else. And there was a group of students that had to lead mice through a maze. And they were led to believe that it was one group of mice that were maze bright. So they were good at mazes, they were bred to be that way. There was one group of mice that was bred to be maze dull. And there was one group of mice that was just standard. Of course, it wasn't true. They were just all mice, normal mice. But it turned out that just because the students had a perception of these mice, they were either doing better or worse. And if your perception of someone else already affects them, can you imagine what your perception of yourself is going to do?
Mm.
But Seth, if you tell yourself right now, I'm going to make a change, I will do good in this world. And if you tell yourself that every single day and truly believe it, what kind of effect is that going to have? That's going to be massive. Massive.
Yeah. Like, even if it's just like once a day, it becomes a fire. You
It
know, you're
becomes a
just
fire.
putting a few sparks on there. You know, you don't want to do it too much, then it becomes like a fucking bushfire, right? And
Yes.
burns
No, yeah.
everything down.
You're right. You're right. Because you
But yeah,
burn
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Find the right people.
Like,
Find people that
find the right people.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a big. You know, I'm finding a line of becoming too egoic, you know, and then becoming overconfident and then underconfident. There's a fine line in that, and I think physically that results in a flow state, finding that line, right?
That's with everything.
You know,
There's no thing that's primarily good or there's no thing that's primarily bad. It's just it all depends on the context. And the more involved you get into the process, the more you'll learn where you need to go. And that's a life quest, man. That's a life quest figuring out where you need to go. I'd like to say I'm getting better every day, but I'm definitely not there. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, yeah. And once you say you're done, you're done. You're not going to learn anything.
No. Exactly.
There's someone in my life. There's some of my life. They say it's too late for them to change, and it's just sad to see it being like that.
You shortcut yourself.
You know, it's change is happening every single moment in your body, even if it's just a metabolic change. It's constantly happening.
Which is also exciting because you can make mistakes. You can do something that's not you and just move on. Like you can build yourself your structure. You can do something you're ashamed of. Like I have a strong aversion to porno and masturbation because I think it's unethical to my being. But sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I have to, and I used to beat myself up over beat yourself up. Anyway, and now I'm like that's okay. That's fine. Just try to not do it again.
Find the balance in it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's probably something unhealthy in abstaining in sexual needs for a really long time.
Well, you don't want to do it too long.
Yeah.
Look, that's another chat. That's also a long.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah. Like I mean, like if you're just on nomading out somewhere for like 30 years, that's I could be wrong. It could be a beneficial thing. Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we do as beings is because you want to be reproductive and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Where are you going to? We need to plan the Semmex and stuff if you want.
Right, but you know what? I've got 3 children that need Christmas presents. We need dinner, and I've got 3 hours before. So
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Love you.
Yeah.
You can put on my place there.
Nice. All right. Should we call it quits for now?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
be wise to do something else.
When you finish recording, I just got one thing to ask you.
I'm just gonna.
Merry Christmas, guys.
And